What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today, did you hear that bell? That means it's Friday, and it's a market watch for you all. So guys, hopefully you enjoy the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, or even just leave some emojis down below if you don't really have much to say. But hopefully we cover a lot of good information, and without further ado, let's get into this video. So let's take a look at it. Justspawn GX from Cross Encounters is sitting at a whopping 30-40 bucks basically, which isn't terrible. It's coming down, which means by probably release we should see this being like a $30 card, which like that would be kind of acceptable, but it should teeter down a little bit. It is going to be one of the more pricier secrets because he is played at 2, maybe 3, but again, it's a waiting card. You don't want to go crazy on this at all. Then you do have this being, you know, on Card Trader, which is about 30 bucks as well, which can be expected to be reasonable. And then on the Europe side, we're looking at $26 as well, 24 euros, which can be very expected for this card. So we should probably eventually see it in the 24 range, which would be really nice. Then we have Justspawn X Antibody from Cross Encounters, sitting at 10 bucks. Well, close to 11, and this card is coming down. I don't recommend buying it at this price because even on Card Trader right now, it is at like $5. So yes, Card Trader is more international. You get it from any of the countries that bring it in, and then they'll ship it directly to you, which is not a bad trade-off. But for $5, I expect him to be more reasonable than 10. So I can see him sit here, and then by the time we get all the stock, he might sit at $3 very easily. So who knows, but the market knows. But we're looking on the Europe side, we're looking at $4 here, which isn't bad. It's a solid pickup at 4, I think. Like I said, $5, $4, $3. In that range, you're looking pretty solid in that value. So, stuff to look at there. Then we have Suukaman Mode. So Mode is around 10 bucks right now on TCG for pre-order. Not worth picking it up at that price because on the Europe side, on Card Trader, which will ship to you directly, but it takes some time. It takes like 3 weeks sometimes, or maybe a week or 2, depending on what seller you get it from, how many sellers you get it from. So we're looking at 6 bucks compared to its counterpart that it's at 10. Then on the Europe side, it's sitting at $5. So looking like it. If you want to use proper trading, don't use the pre-sales. Actually use like Card Market and Card Trader for the pre-sales this weekend if you're making trades and stuff like that, because that's where they're going to estimately hover around. So that would be the more fair price to go with. Outside of that, I wouldn't go too ham on these unless you can get them for a good deal. Machinedramon or Mugandramon for some players. This card is going to start probably climbing up with the announcement of its counterpart in the Justspawn X Antibody. This card now sees viability because now it gives it the protection from DP minusing, and it has being able to fuel at least a 1 of each time. So it gains some value here that really doesn't normally have for Machinedramon. So something to just keep your eye on, especially since this card might make that card and its option really could make the deck finally just get into that tier 1 category that it's just been trying to climb into for so long. Europe side, we're pretty close neck and neck. We have 18. They're close to 18, which is not bad at all. Then we have Davis. So Davis is from the starter deck, just, the starter deck boxes. 10 bucks. Okay. See, he was sitting at like 20 bucks and people started buying him at 20. And I always recommend not buying this at that $20 price. Now he's at 10, which I definitely agree and get behind, because even still, if you guys don't want to wait, 5 bucks for Davis now really is a good buy in. So I think 5 bucks is even good. It will still keep coming down, but eventually he will climb up depending on what happens in the future. But on the Europe side, thanks. So Europe side, we're looking at none other than €5 as well, maybe close to, $5 and like 20 cents or something like that. Then we have Izzy being Izzy for $3, which is nice. The art is really good. I think it's very clean. Worth probably the pickup at the end of the day. So then we have Magna and Digimon. Definitely don't recommend picking these up. These will definitely be trade fodder if you got the premium box set. If not, after the poll closes, I'm going to be honest with you. If the deck is still being played with Magna and Digimon in it, these cards will start climbing back up eventually. Just something to think about because of how it's played out is that, yes, there will be a high rarity, but again, it's in a buy-in at a $100 box that most people don't have the money to drop in right now. Yes, you have pay at 4 or monthly payments installment, but it's not always worth it, in my opinion, to just waste money like that. On the Europe side, €50, $50, ain't terrible. Digimon Alternate Art is something you should be watching out for. The reason why I'm going to say this now is because BT-12 is going to have more Gilaman support, which means more fun stuff to be had. So we're looking at a whopping $30 here. So people are buying it, and I'm going to be honest with you, expect this card to go up, especially once that Gilaman gets shown off. If the deck finally has a way of being extremely good, then it's just teetering from that seesaw there. So definitely make sure you guys are thinking about it. But also remember, there is the set version, which is not a max rarity, but that's you. If you want max rarity, you go for the Digimon here. If not, just go for your regular playset of the uncommon there. So just watch out. Looking like €20 isn't bad. Then we have Gilaman Crimson Mode for $24. It's coming down, but this card is another ticking time bomb. Depending on what the Gilaman does, this card could start climbing up, especially if the Gilaman support is really good. Then we have, €20. I mean, €30, which means about $30.60 basically. Then Takato, basically $24, which is another card you should keep on your radar just in case the Gilaman support is really nasty. And once it starts getting show off, you know how buyouts happen. So I would give it about another possibly two to 3 weeks, because depending on when in November the BT-12 drops, it's going to be quick. So then we have, €28, not bad at all. Then Gilaman was not expecting this card. So Gilaman here got a buyout, which is very interesting to me. Well, I know Blackboard Greymon X is everyone's hype right now, and everybody is also hyping Blackboard Greymon itself because they think it's going to be end-all be-all against Cross Art. So it's going to be a very interesting format going ahead. Most people are probably going to try out Gilaman as their way of trying to negate that. So we're looking at €15. Isn't bad at all. Blackboard Greymon, $11, $12. This card is just going to keep climbing. I wouldn't be surprised if this hits like $16 very easily in a few weeks, but also really depends on what the first big regional size event is. If it is, topping, if Gilaman / Blackboard Greymon doesn't do enough to check in Cross Art, expect this deck to start slowly teetering down. But we have Blackboard Greymon X around the corner as well, so it's going to be that hit or miss situation on that. On the Europe side, actually higher than us. They're already hitting €16, so 16 almost goes to $17. And then we got Himikawa here. She's looking at $11. She is just one of those cards that just slowly creeps up. It's not a bad pickup at all. Even just having 2 copies of her is not a bad in your collection. she is quite useful, especially if you're planning on playing the black version of Blackboard Greymon X. She's kind of more needed paired to the red. That's just my opinion. On the Europe side, about €5. Not terrible. Ryudemon here. Ryudemon is at $8. That's crazy. Remember this card being like 30 bucks? Yeah, people are moving out their X Antibody stuff, and it looks like a smart time to start slowly. The players that want to play Alphamon in the next set or even in the future, because the deck is actually still playable, might be good to grab these max rarity pieces that were kind of out of your price range. So just something to think about here. It is a pretty good value. On the Europe side, €15. Crazy. Gilaman from Gen Con promo. Remember this card? It took so many players to get this product so long at Gen Con's online events that this card has dipped so quickly down to $11. And the reason for that is people want to try to make their money back now. They have lost money because the high-end sale now is no longer there. People aren't as wanting this. There's also another, Gen Con event, DC1 pricing here. So it's just what that's going to be. So it's kind of just it's sunk, really, to be honest with you. And I can't think, apparently. On the Europe side, we're looking at €10. Ain't terrible. Blossomon. This card is still on the up climb. You didn't get your copies, especially since this is technically the max rarity version, but you do also have the regular BT-3 version. So this is just something to think about. Tamer Party Pack, about 22. I think it's a little overpriced. I think 15 would have been fine, but Bloomlord is really good. But then if Bloomlord doesn't do well, that means people will start selling these Blossomons out. So it's going to be this weird fluctuation depending on how well Bloomlord does in EX3. On the Europe side, $2. Wow. Yeah. Jellyman. Jellymon's another card that you just want to keep on your radar. Why am I saying this? Because of the Shiro. This card is going to always see value in it. It has an effect that, unless they make another Jellyman that does it, isn't really getting replaced very often. Especially since you can give that source stack jamming now with, the Kishiro card that was the promo part of it. So this is a card that I actually think you should just, if you guys want to be playing Jelly Force in the future, start picking this up. This is a card that I highly recommend because of how low it is. $8 is not a bad pick up there. And then we're looking at €3 on the Europe side. I mean, $3 ain't terrible. Leomon from the online participation pack is looking like a $13 card. This card has been on a slow down climb because people have been getting more and more regionals going on, so they've been getting their packs. So now you're going to see this come down. On the Europe side, about €10. Ain't terrible, $10. Cool Boy definitely got bought out because of X Antibody hype, plus, Blackboard Greymon is just one of those things that people are going to be playing. So then we have €3, about $3. Cool Boy pre-release stamp is $18, and I expect this one to hold that $20 range, since people are max rarity type of people. Unless they make a alternate art foil, this is going to be the max rarity for now. And on the Europe side, we're looking at €8, about $9, not bad. Sora and Joe, the box topper, which is technically the max rarity version because compared to the pre-release stamp, this is a lot better. Looking at this is like $5, close to $6. So might be worth picking this up because of, Blue Flare. Blue Flare really likes playing this card. On the Europe side, about €3. Crazy. Suukaman Blanc Awakens is climbing up. Her pre-release stamp is riding around $7, and she's on a low count. The reason for this is people are really thinking she is the go-to for Justspawn this format, and she's really good, don't get me wrong. I really think she's a very solid tech card, but the other Systemons just do so much more work that playing Blanc is not going to be the answer you want, but that's just me. I feel like Blanc is not the answer you want. On the Europe side, she is dirt cheap. She's like $1. Not terrible. Panjoamon X Antibody here. This card, keep this on your radar. Make sure you have your playset if you want to play Leomon in BT-11. The deck just really gets that extra support, and it's only really missing a good boss Digimon, so it's just something to look forwards to. On the Europe side, just Sense. Nothing terrible there. Revival from the Darkness is really going to be one of those cards, I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be expensive for now, but once you get further into formats that this card is not being played in, it's going to die down. People will flood the market, move these as soon as possible, and it will go down. You know, this is the pre-release stamp, so $35 is expected, which is pretty actually decent. On the Europe side, though, you're looking at $4, maybe $10. That's not bad for that card. Black Gilaman from New Awakening is close to being bought out as well, which I don't recommend picking her up at this point. For $15, she's quite expensive for a 1 of, maybe 2 of tech. Ain't really worth it. I know it's in, you know, the Ofanimon loop deck, but it's not worth it, in my opinion, to pay that much. On the Europe side, about $6. I like $6. Skull Nightmon Cavalier Mode pre-release stamp is looking at being a $10 card. Still on the buyout status. There's only 5 copies left, and 5 copies, what I mean by that, before it hits a $24 card. That is crazy expensive to me. On the Europe side, about €6. And then we have Skull Nightmon from Next Adventure pre-release cards. And the final card we're going to talk about tonight is looking at 21 listings. About a $9 card, I would say. Nothing too crazy here. There are plenty of copies on the market. And again, it's going to be one of those decks that you're going to really enjoy. Dark Nightmon's really solid. On the Europe side, €3 and close on buyout status. So guys, what did you think of this Market Watch? Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!